What's going on, beautiful people? It is I, your flying locomotive, and faster than a speeding bullet SuperCliff, coming at you live with a brand new video. And for today's majestic and fantastic video, we are continuing with Action Comics issue number 1052. But before we dive into the world of Superman and everything that is Metallo, if you are new to the channel, then smash that like and subscribe button. That way you guys never miss out on anything that happens on this majestic channel. So what are you waiting for? Let's raise the bar and go full on Super Saiyan. Hit that subscribe button. Thus, without further ado, let's dive into the epic tale that is Action Comics, issue number 1052. Our story starts things off at the grand opening ceremony at Steelworks Tower. And it's here, folks, where we are picking up with Connor Kent's boy getting his face smashed in by an overly powered Metallo. How, before the villainous cyborg is able to land a final blow, that's when the Man of Steel himself, Superman, shows up to save the day. Now, although Metallo is throwing harder punches, at the end of the day, he doesn't stand a chance because it isn't just Superman who's fighting against him, but rather the entire Superman family, people like Steel and Supergirl, and so Metallo is wildly outmatched, to the point where Superman lands a gigantic punch, sending Metallo through Earth's orbit, and because of space and what we know due to science, Metallo eventually freezes into a floating popsicle. Later that evening, the Superman family watches the news report on today's events regarding Metallo's attack. Now, this scene basically plays out like an exposition dump, a sort of reminder for potential new readers on who Metallo is and what he's all about. And because Ursula and Othla Ra are curious, Clark gives them the breakdown. For you see, John Corbin was a soldier who volunteered for the Steel Soldier program. However, given the fact that it was a defense program and people like Lex Luthor wanted to rush the project, things went bad. Complications occurred. Thus, John Corbin became Metallo, a dying brain inside a metal corpse. And yeah, that's pretty depressing. Afterwards, we get some flashback imagery of John Corbin's life, his childhood alongside his sister Tracy. And it's here where we learn that their childhood was rough, for their father was abusive and he was a criminal. And so because of his trauma of the past, it causes Metallo to essentially break out of his ice casing. Basically, hatred and the need to protect his sister is what's motivating Metallo. From there, Tracy via hologram gets in contact with her brother. Now, what's weird about this scene is the fact that Lex Luthor has supposedly captured Tracy in order to blackmail and coerce John into destroying Superman. So the question is asked, why would Lex allow Tracy to talk with his brother? However, it's here where Tracy is telling her brother that she's scared, because things now have gotten much more complicated. Seemingly, Superman found out that she was in prison. Therefore, Lex had to pull her out and put her in some kind of top secret supervillain place. And thus the only way to get her back is if Metallo continues to wage war and to kill Superman. From there, we switch back over to the Superman family. And after putting the kids in the bed, Superman and the family regroup and discuss the situation. For Superman brings up the fact that Metallo's punches were harder this time. Therefore, it's clear that the villain has gotten much more powerful. Clark also mentions that he looked up the ins and the outs of Metallo's escape from Stryker's Island, and the evidence seems to suggest that Lex was the one who broke him out. With the rise of Steelworks, it's suspected that Luthor doesn't want anyone to be shaping Metropolis' future other than Lex himself, and that's the reason why he sent Metallo in to attack Steel Tower. However, it's here where Supergirl brings up the fact that Luthor was communicating with Metallo remotely. Yet, according to Clark, he points out that whoever Metallo was talking with, it wasn't Lex, because during the fight, Clark used his X-ray vision to see if Lex was involved. But when he did so, he saw that Luthor was in his jail cell reading a book. Therefore, someone else is pulling Metallo's strings. But the question is who? Elsewhere in Metropolis, Metallo makes landfall, and after making his way through an alley, the villain encounters a group of people who belong to the racist group known as Blue Earth, a radical group who are against aliens seeking shelter on Earth. So once Metallo steps out of the shadows, that's when everyone starts to freak out, because yeah, Metallo is a freaky looking being. Now, before anything can be done, Metallo right then and there transports himself and the group over to his secret base. For you see, despite the fact that Metallo is stronger than ever before, the unfortunate part is that he's only one person. Therefore, if he's going to have a chance to take on Superman and the entire Superman family, he's going to need a family of his own. For Metallo is going to have his own house as well. The House of El versus the House of Metallo is coming, folks. And that, folks, was the end of Action Comics, issue number 1052. And thank you guys for checking out my video, as it truly means the world to me. So yeah, a lot happens in this issue. One of the things I love about Action Comics is this sense of an overarching narrative. I like how with every arc, whether it's War World or what's happening right now with the Superman family, I like how so far each arc is building on top of one another. Most writers, I feel, would introduce characters like Ursula and Olfa only to then ignore them and pretend that they never existed. I love how Philip Kennedy Johnson is including these new characters into the family, but also giving them their growth as well. That being, of course, adopting their Kryptonian genes to the Earth's atmosphere. PKJ isn't just force-feeding these characters down our throat, but by still focusing on Clark as the protagonist and showcasing his father-like approach, it helps everything that came before to where we are now. The issue also seems to suggest that Lex Luthor may not actually be the one who's pulling Metallo's strings. I kind of like that, considering that, Lex is in jail, and over in the Joshua Williamson Superman book, he's actually trying to help Superman, so it makes a lot of sense in this series that Lex has nothing to do with what's happening. Also seeing Metallo wanting to build his own superpowered team, his own House of Metallo, I think was a really fun idea, and I'm excited to see how this new status quo affects our heroes and that of the DC Universe. Overall, great stuff. So yeah, as always, I'm your majestic sayer of words, SuperCliff, and if you guys are new to the channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button, and also the notification bell so you'll never miss out on an upload, and so you'll always be kept up to date with your favorite top tier comics happening in the comic book world. Now tell me, what are your thoughts and opinions on this issue? Are you guys excited for issue number 1053? Let me know down in the comment section below. And until the next video, peace. Giggity goo.